Oh, um, okay. Greetings, guys. Once again, I'm just laughing because come to think about it. It's the second time recording this video. The last time I tried to record this video, my cell phone just decided to went out of battery, so I had to read through all of this again. So I was just so crashed and so I just left everything right there. I was like, I'm going to do this any other day. But yeah, first thing first, guys, I would like to appreciate the support that you've been showing to the channel. Like for the first time in forever since the channel started, we've reached 1,000 views, guys. That's massive. Like, I can't thank you enough for the support that you've been showing to the channel. It shows that the content you've been posting lately like really resonates with you guys. So I really appreciate that. So big ups, Kweni. As much as we are viewing and enjoying the content, Kweni, like for every individual that clicks on the video, can you guys please for me just hit the subscribe button. So I beg of you so that you could like grow the channel, bring some more resources into the channel, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, but then the second part is an apology for uploading so late. I think it has been over a month the last time I've uploaded a video, but the reason for that is because there was a funeral at home, so I was busy up and down trying to solve that and stuff like that. So that's why time lapsed this much. So yeah, but we'll try to continue exactly from where we left off last time. We'll finish this series because I think it's about time we get to the next and even bigger audience, even greater ideologies and stuff. So I'll try to just get straight to where we left off last time. Let me just check where we left off.
So with money, they added things like interest. Interest, like Jesus walking on water, is literally making money out of thin air. They introduced something called profit, and people don't understand. Profit is no different to interest. It's just as evil. How do I expect you to I get something for 5 rand, and you must buy it for 10? Where's the other 5 rand coming from? Because you can't plant something that's just going to grow double.
Isn't it the reward for my sweat and time?
This is the story part.
The body is the only asset I own, for the usage of this asset to make this thing and bring it to you. I'm going to take a lot. You want a pair of sneakers, they're only found in France. I bring it to you in Joburg. Shouldn't I be rewarded for that? And that's the profit.
No. So again, the reason we're muzzling podcasts is because there's a child that committed suicide. They were watching podcasts. They got depressed. So to protect them. And you're like, no, but that's bullshit. That's not the... All I'm saying is some of these concepts, they may even have good intentions, but they have fucked up what money used to be. So interest, profit, something called speculation. Speculation is, I think Bitcoin will go up next week. Oh, I think the shares of Tesla will go down. And all of a sudden, the value of something is just based on a hunch. And if you're a market analyst, you can literally go online and tell people, guys, I foresee turbulent times. And all of a sudden, the value of a company goes down based on nothing.
That happens in the stock market.
You know what I mean? So speculation is another one. And then inflation. Inflation is how rich people steal money from the poor and middle class. It's the best way they use. So the increase in fuel, the increase in food, it's inflation. They'll tell you, but the price of things is always going up. It's not. They make it go up so that your 10 rand this year is worth less in 4 years' time.
Yes.
That's all it is. But money as a concept is not bad. It's just been bastardized. And today, obviously, we've moved from bartering, gold standard to fiat, to where we are now with digital and crypto.
Yeah. And what do you think about relationship of money and black people? Do you think we know how to handle money?
Another plug, Kosher Money on YouTube, for people that want to watch. There's 2 interviews in particular that this guy, Eli, does. It's a Jewish platform. Eli
Kosher
Langer,
Money.
I think, yeah.
Let me see.
Kosher Money. So one of the interviews is with a brilliant guy called Rabbi Manis Friedman. So I'm a huge student of all types of leadership. Jewish, Zangoma, Jesus. I study everything because there's a thread when you start studying these guys. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
So Rabbi Manis Friedman speaks about the spirituality of money, because they speak about literally why are Jews richer than other people. Another one is with a guy called Naftali. I just forgot his surname, but people will find it on Kosher Money. there's a spirituality aspect to money that Jews understand and that they respect. Black people, the way money was brought into us and into our lives was traumatic.
Ish.
That's why people hate Afrikaans. Afrikaans wasn't sold to us good, as jy Afrikaans kan praat, gaan jy 'n lekker bottle grandeur kry. So you're like, hey, fuck, I love Afrikaans. I get drunk because I know Afrikaans. They brought it traumatically and you fucking hate it. So with us, the whole money concept was brought in through colonizers who stripped you of your land, took you away from your family so that you're forced to go and make money to fucking pay tax. And when you say money to blacks, money is debt. It's debit orders.
Ish.
You know what I mean? So it's traumatic. So from a spiritual perspective.
Bro, fucking hell, man.
Oh,
Bro,
sorry, Penuel, he hit you now.
yo, fuck, bro, like you, fuck. That was gonna be a 3-hour show. Fuck that shit. Yo, bro, you're right, man. You're right, dog.
This is how religious leaders. This is how
Let's
religious
be honest.
leaders win people.
If we were trading in cows,
This is how religious leaders.
if we were trading in cows today, Africa would be the richest country on, continent in the world because we're trading in. But money was introduced as a result of being stripped from everything, and suddenly we need to this concept, this foreign concept, and go on, man. Sorry, bro, but I had an epiphany, dog. I had an epiphany. Yeah. Nah, speaking sense. Now you speak. I disagree with other things, but the money one, and how it was introduced to us.
Let him speak.
It was a tragedy. Fucking hell, dog.
So in that also, did I listen to you right? I think there was some a video where it's almost like you were praising AfriForum or praising Afrikaners. What's that? Explain.
Okay.
Did you finish your point about money?
Get into it after the money thing, bro.
you finished?
I disturbed you the money thing, bro. Yeah. Money was introduced to us under traumatic or whatever ways.
Yeah. So going back, money as a tool is not a bad thing, but it's been fucked up by the people. Zimbabwe was wealthy, land, gold, whatever. Overnight, the Zim
Red
dollar was
bastard of
worthless.
Africa.
Overnight, the Zim dollar was worthless. Not because they lost anything, not because they were hit by a bomb, because someone just said so. So as long as you understand that there are people that can control that value, it becomes problematic. For the poor in particular, I think this is part of the solution. Going back a little bit. So traumatic, we don't have money, what. We need to go back to bartering. We need to go back to bartering where we don't have money. If you have money, cool. If you have something else, cool. If you don't, barter. Be like, my dog, I don't have anything, but I can come wash your car. How much is that worth to you? Oh, it's worth a bottle of grandeur. If you can wash my car or 5 cars, I'll give you a bottle. That's literally value. So if we can move from money to value, I think we'll understand. And black people need to, because Jews do this, we need to get comfortable speaking about money. How much do you earn? How much did you get? Yes, we've got those problems. People now want your money, black tax. It's fine. Let's work through it. Tell your family I make 100,000 a month. Let them get fucking entitled to your money and what, and then tell them no. And if they're willing to listen,
Thank you.
explain to them.
Thank you,
My
bro.
bond is 20,000. My
That's
car
it.
is and I have
Yes.
so that's why I can only give you 200 rand.
Yeah.
But uhamba nge, yabona njengoba ngihamba ngale moto.
No.
This is the installment. This is the insurance. This is the fuel. That's why
And
I
there's
can't give you
100 of you
And then
asking
we start
for money
learning.
Yes.
also. And my budget is 10,000 or 2,000, and there's 100 of you asking. I can't. I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to have these conversations because they're important. So that's my view just on money.
I try to stray away from pausing a lot of times, guys, because I feel like when people get engaged into the conversation and what the guy is saying, because really what we're trying to put a speaker on here, it's the ideas that Penuel is actually putting out there and stuff like that. But it's said that that video got lost. But my view when it comes to this, so he was actually making the idea that the elites, let us just call them the elites. So in a sense, you can think of them, the people who control the world. So if you don't believe that there are people who control the world, it's fine. But to be honest, these people, they use propaganda, story, and all of that mind control systems to actually direct the world into a particular direction. That's why, like he was mentioning, the transition and the growth and the development of money from of exchange, in fact, from bartering to gold bars to fiat money. Now we are entering to the crypto space, because a lot of you guys haven't, like, not a lot of you, the majority of the world still hasn't like actually entered into that space, but we are slowly but surely and gradually, continuously to that direction. But for me, immediately listening to him making this point to say they turn a good thing into a bad thing, I straightly go to feminism. So I know most probably I'll get dragged in the internet for saying this, but because this is a sensitive topic, you every now and then there are sides to it. If you're saying this, you're pissing the other side. If you're not saying that, you're pissing off the other side. But for me, I feel like, you know, even nowadays, a lot of people do not clearly and 100% understand why feminism was introduced into business, into the business space in a sense, because a lot of the 21st century feminists think that feminism was created to combat what do we call this, male domination. But that's not what feminism was created for. It was a way to empower women into business. Because remember, back in the days, people who, not people who mattered, because I don't think that would be the right word, but people who the world kept focus on were males. And I'll explain why. I'm saying that because back in those days, people were murdering each other for land, for resources, for a lot of things. Like if I felt like I do not have like enough land, or I do not have like enough resources on my side, I'll gather a crew of men, then I'd go there and murder people. So to be able to conquer nations, countries, countries and so on, countries used to make sure that they keep a keen focus on the male figure, because those are the people that were capable enough to actually wage wars on other nations. So that's where the focus of the world was. So even when things started transitioning from wars and becoming civil disputes and stuff like that, so the people who were on the forefront and on the leadership were males. So even when it comes to business, because business is the one who actually took out wars to say, man, we can do exchanges where we have an agreement. I get something, you get something. Not that every time we engage in a dispute, we have to kill each other. So that's how business was introduced, to say, let me understand, because every now and then, even the person you can imagine and see to think that has everything figured out, they've got something that's not working for them. So let me identify your need and you identify my need. Then together, if we can help each other mitigate those needs, then we can we can fix it like that. So instead of like, because I don't have this, I have to go and kill somebody who I think they have it and stuff like that. So males, in fact, were actually on the forefront, on the leadership of development itself, of industrialization itself. So when it got to business and boardrooms, there were males. Those spaces were dominated by males, because those are the people who actually introduced business. So what happened is, over time, because now the world started settling down, people started shifting the focus to some of secondary, tertiary, and so on, social issues. That's where we're like, okay, now that we have fixed the major problems of killing each other and stuff, of wars, now we can start focusing on micro issues like the community, the province, and so on and so on, because we have fixed the country and stuff like that. So women came into the fold to say, guys, do you remember back then when we were at wars? Who was guarding our families? Who was looking after our homes, our children and stuff. It was the females, the women, and some of them lost their husbands in war. So these people still need to feed their families as much as you are working to feed your family. So we need to introduce them into the business world as well. So how do we introduce them into the business world? Then that's where feminism started to say, let us empower these people. So in this space where males are dominating, we should create an environment where they could coexist as well, where their needs as well can be met. Because remember, men, we are of different sex, so because of that, we've got different needs that will meet our satisfaction in every space. So we need to change policies, we need to change laws, we need to change a lot of things, even whenever we buy resources and materials that we are going to use for work, uniforms and stuff like that. We need to accommodate these females as well. So it was a way to say, because we are here now, let us bring everyone along. It's a developmental ideology concept that brings everyone along. But now people have started using it as a weapon. If a male, maybe somebody starts a business and he feels like males would do that job better than females, now feminism will be like, no, we want equality and stuff like that. Remember, man, fair and equality is not the same thing. So the mistake that a lot of feminists in nowadays make is that if we are saying we want fair treatment at workspaces, they say we want equal treatment. Remember, you can't say, for example, if I haven't been in school for 5 years and somebody has been at school for the last 5 years, then you can't bring a problem before us and be like, solve this problem using that will require some of the concepts that have been taught at school for the last 5 years, and you were like, because I've gave you an equal opportunity. No, you have to go back and bring me along, educate me as my with the same level of education this person, I don't know how, but the same level of education that person received, I should receive it as well, because now I'm facing the same level of problem that will require some of the knowledge that the person acquired in the last 5 years where they were at school. So that's what I feel as well, to say it's a good thing. Feminism is a very, very good thing. I'm a man and I'm saying feminism on its core, it's a very good thing. But the way the feminism that's being championed in nowadays, it's not feminism, it's something else. We need to come up with a different concept, a different name for it, but it's not feminism. Because if you go back into books, you do your study, research, you do realize that feminism is completely different from what the 21st century feminists are fighting for. So, and worse is that they do not even factor in the needs of females who they claim they are actually fighting for. But yeah, let's continue.
I wanted to say, what you were saying about we'd be rich because of cows is how I feel about children. You know, so if we could trade cows, all of us would be trying to get cows, as many cows as possible. Because I see value in human beings and human labor and human ingenuity and innovation. That's what I want to have.
And we've got the strongest genes, and like genetically, you know, Africans.
Black people.
Africans, generally.
Yeah, it's a diss, that thing, but you're right.
I mean, we're at the first civilization.
Let's get into
the first university on earth.
Let's get into politics, which goes into AfriForum, Orania. I've seen you've praised them a couple of times on.
Damn, you've praised Orania, fam.
Yeah, with the load shedding, because they got their own. Yeah, he'll explain.
Yeah, fucking hell, dog.
Sorry, just to close, you know, the props you're giving black people, they bittersweet. Because yes, first civilization, whatever you want to call it, genetically we're strong, we don't get skin cancer.
But that was used.
Handle the elements. But essentially it's like you're describing a horse.
Exactly.
Or a cow. You can be in the sun for long and weather the storm, and you can lift heavy things.
That's how slavery happened.
Therefore we can build more.
Slavery happened.
No.
That we can use to enrich us.
The cool thing is we have to take that back to use it, yes.
For
but
us,
I'm saying when people say that, it's bittersweet for that reason. Because the world is run on mental prowess and not so much physical. So when you say we're genetically what, are you saying we're the
Even
smartest?
mentally, we're the first university, like the oldest.
Yeah, that's a bullshit story. That you know that story. We built pyramids. My father didn't build any fucking pyramid. I refuse to take credit for bullshit.
Yeah.
I didn't really create because it becomes a pacifier. It helps you keep quiet.
Exactly.
Because you're like, but we used to be kings and queens and
Hey, Nes.
Let's talk about now. What have you built? What are you doing now? Let's talk about that.
Nothing.
That's what Kanye is trying to say. That like, fuck history, dog. Can we speak about the future? What are we doing? You get people to always be like, but we used to be kings and pharaohs. It's a pacifier. We used to be great. Hey, my dad used to have Aspire. Where is he now? Where's Aspire?
Nothing.
Let's talk about now. The people that are moving are the people that are here. I want to build a pyramid. So when people say, hey, we built the pyramids, I'll be like, no, I built a pyramid. I can show you. Don't tell me about Egyptians. I don't fucking know those people. Anyway, so AfriForum and Orania. The world we live in, by the way, the danger of listening to me, Saul, because this is the danger of listening to any pastor and any politician and some people have like a master of storytelling and they listen to you.
Oh yeah, I'm shy.
After that, all of us are like, no, man. You know what Penn said, 20 kids. Now you're listening to that guy. He's fucking feeding you. And you're like, no, but listen to him. That's what happens when you get close to people that have an ability to, you know. Anyways.
So what were you just saying there? We mustn't listen to you.
No, I'm saying it's very dangerous.
We're in the spell now. Eh?
That fool is like motivational speakers. When they come to prime media, then you're there. And then you think you conquer the world. 3 days later.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's always
This is
that
me
danger,
after
bro.
with 20 kids, eh?
Yeah. So now I'm only saying this because Penuelism, my religion, the first principle is own your mind. That means take out pen, hey, and then go home and
decide
chew over
yourself.
it.
Yeah.
And then come back and be like, okay, dog, I hear you for you.
I didn't hear you there.
For me, I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I meet a lot of people that are fans of my videos and stuff, and they say stuff like, hey, dog, I love your shit. I don't fully agree with you. And I'm like, as soon as you say that, that makes me happy. You can't tell me you
That's the
agree with
first
everything
principle.
because it's
Own
like,
your mind.
are you fucking crazy?
Let's go.
Yeah. We live in a world where you have to kind of pick sides. And I think it's part of what's destructive with the world. Are you a man? Are you a woman? Are you black? Are you white?
Pronouns.
RET, white monopoly capital. Are you ANC? Are you EFF? Are you...
Yeah.
The world we live in is very dynamic, you know. And in being dynamic, and one of the skills I've tried to master is the ability to isolate good people from bad people, number one, regardless of race. So I can say you're a good black or a bad black, you're a good white, you're a bad white, and do that. Number two, I can isolate good deeds and bad deeds. So Mac G beat up someone. Oh, hey, he's a criminal, he spent time in prison. And I'm like, no, I want to know more about this guy. No, but he's an ex-con. Yeah, I hear you, I heard that, sure. What else? Yeah, apparently he built like a thing for kids. I'm like, no, that was a good deed. Yeah, but he's an ex-con, I agree, but he is not a block. You can't just say no.
So it's R. Kelly.
Gaten
Good
McKenzie.
music.
Like R. Kelly.
Fucked up person.
Yeah. And people force you. Zuma, Ramaphosa. So you love Zuma. That means you agree with the looting. Like, no, don't fucking act like I'm a fucking idiot. I can tell you that I love Zuma singing, but I maybe don't agree with some of his policies. I love the fact that he has a lot of kids, but I'm not really happy with the deals maybe they did with the Guptas and some of the people in the back. You know what I mean? So when it comes to white people, Afrikaans people in particular, and the apartheid system in general, I have the ability to park my emotions aside and indulge fully.
Oh, that's
you
beautiful.
And I'm going to speak about another controversial figure, and I'll say this now because podcasts are still relatively free spaces. Adolf Hitler came into Germany at a time like what South Africa is going through now. They had like 30% unemployment. You know, they didn't have businesses, they were fucked, the people were despondent, and he came in as Umashaya. You know, and he was hitting the greatest. The Führer was fucking amazing with the gap. You know, like hey, he gets the people excited, cracks a joke here, you know. I'd like to isolate what he did to the Jews. I think it was atrocious, the murdering,
The Holocaust.
the Holocaust, the gas chambers, the concentration camps. That was all bad. But then you have to look at the fact that Hitler industrialized Germany. Volkswagen is the biggest car company in the world today.
VW Beetle. The
Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah,
He commissioned Ferdinand Porsche, who was a car designer at the time.
Yeah, your own Porsche.
Porsche, yeah.
to create a vehicle for the people. So for people that don't know, if you know Afrikaans maybe, volk is folk, people.
Yes,
Wagen-
people's wagon.
Wagen
It's
is a wagon. So he
It's
said,
people's
make the
wagon.
people's car.
Yeah,
The Volkswagen is the people's car.
literally.
And they did that. Ferdinand went on to build his own Porsche brand.
Yeah.
The family still owns a stake of Volkswagen as an example. There's other big businesses in Germany. Hugo Boss used to make uniform for Nazi Germany as an example. Those are things that were good things. They were bad things, but they were good things. And he reduced unemployment to almost nothing. He increased social welfare, especially for women. You know, he invested a lot in skills development. We speak now about FET colleges and TVET and skills. Hitler was doing that then. That's why Germany became such a boss nation. And to this day, they're the third biggest economy in the world after, I think, America and Japan. Or China, sorry, America and China, sorry. Then it's Germany and Japan. You know what I mean? So I can do that. So with the apartheid government came in. They took over from the British, the colonizers. And they realized, look, the world doesn't like us. You must understand, Afrikaners were like they were like the coloureds of Europe. They were the mixed breeds. No one wanted them. They were a bit dammish. They were scummish. That's why they had to go somewhere. They were immigrants. That's why they came here. They were the foreigners, undocumented foreigners here. The Dutch, the French, the Germans, etc.
Yes, the French.
So they came here to come and look for a new life. They took over from the British. They started off as farmers. They realized the importance of growing your own food. And then once they took over from the British, some of the world didn't like them. And they got sanctioned. They're like, we need to fucking do our own shit. And they went, I think it may have been Jan Smuts. They went and they commissioned an Afrikaans guy, Hendrik van der Bijl, who went to study in Germany, engineering. He came back. They came and they drafted a plan. The apartheid government's economic plan is probably one of the best economic plans you'll ever see. So with Hendrik van der Bijl, they decided to create their own power, which was cheap. It wasn't for profit, it was at cost. And they built Eskom. And then they're like, we need our own fuel. And they built Sasol. We need our own weapons. And they built Arms Corps.
Our own bank.
We need our own, that was the Broederbond, but it was Afrikaans people as well. We need our own shit. We need to take care of ourselves, our grains with Afgri and. So they literally built the economy we have today. And if you look at the infrastructure they built, a lot of it is still standing. It's being destroyed by the current government, but it's still standing because it was that fucking good. The railway systems.
But also
only to
benefit the few, yeah. They built it for 5%.
You see, if they did that Eskom, the Sasol to benefit the majority, would be a first world country, like literally. But only to benefit a few, and that's a very small few.
So is that why you appreciate and like Orania, AfriForum, like what you were saying?
So I want to answer this benefits a few, but I'm going to finish this first. So I have the ability to unemotionally be able to take the good from someone, even if they called bad people. So I can appreciate what the Afrikaans people did in building a strong economy and infrastructure. So
I think most of us can, though.
Okay. So the reason I admire, it's important that I use this term admire. I admire AfriForum and Orania. And for me, I wish in particular black people could actually remove their emotions and study these people. These were people that were disgruntled for whatever reason. And they said, we're fucked, we're not in the majority, there's a fucking black government, it doesn't matter. How can we solve this problem?
But
and they went
easy to remove emotions.
I'm
saying it's not that easy.
It's not easy at all.
When you say to
it's
black
not
people
easy at all.
Especially when you're on the receiving end of history and the brutality of it.
Yeah.
Afrikaners not. Blacks,
Yeah. So it's really not easy. But it's a process that needs to happen like the money process. Because if we don't fix it, we will always be victims. If you're like, but my mom was beaten up when I was 5, and that's your whole story. You're fucking 45, you've got your own family, but mama, I'm shy. I'm like, hey, dog, fucking catch a wake up. For how long are you going to be a victim? The Jews were victims. They said, okay, fuck this shit. We're going to fuck shit up.
Yeah, the Jews
They're not like poor today saying, but you saw what the Germans did to us. You have to fucking move. You can be emotional, you can hate them, it's fine, but be willing to take some of the... Orania, people said, let's buy a piece of land, and they built their own what. It's like a stain city. It's like I wish black townships could build fences and control access and decide who runs the economy in there. That's like a form of Orania. You know what I mean?
That, you see, now we're talking. Yeah, that.
and we do shit to benefit our people.
Imagine they close a force.
And we're not waiting for grants,
No,
nothing.
but they close a force. They're like, you gotta put your kids in these schools.
And do you know how much money goes around for Oslo, bro?
Too much.
Hey!
Hey, Varani for yes, Perima race. Varani Perima race,
and
like
literally,
Forster.
the
Varani entry, Varani Perima race.
From the highway, there's only one way to get into Oslo.
Perima race, and then there's Sprayed View. That's it. There's 2 highways.
Sure.
It's both the N3, but Sprayed View and the Perima Ray off ramp. Otherwise, like, no, don't get to Puma Force. Okay. It's sprayed. but there's like a few routes into any township throughout South Africa. You're so right.
Oranya's got its own
Who
currency.
can build a mall? Because we complain about the malls. Chris Han is owned by white people. It's a mall in Force.
Yeah.
And we complain, it's owned by white people.
Yeah.
But if the blacks Force would say, Asaki Mole too.
Right? You said anyone can do it. Isn't that what you said just now?
Jesus, yeah. Asaki
Anyways.
Mole too.
So that's what I appreciate about Orania. They came up with their own solutions. With AfriForum, and AfriForum is, for me, more urgent. AfriForum is Afrikaans people in particular. And Afrikaans people, when they say it, they tell you it's non-racial. So anyone can call themselves Afrikaans. You can be colored. AfriForum has got black members, by the way. I know some of them personally. Okay. You know, that just like chillers, they pay money every month towards AfriForum. So AfriForum protects Afrikaner interests.
Yeah.
I cannot say definitively in this country that there's an organization that fights for black African rights, where if the ANC government, if the DA is saying something, you literally send a pack and an army of lawyers to go and fight for black African issues. That's what AfriForum does. They're like, we've got a group of people, they're a minority.
Afrikaans interests.
These are their interests. If you infringe on their interests, we come at you. And then today, with the money that they've raised, because I think they make like 45 million rand a month in terms of the money that they raise.
45.
Yeah, they've got 300,000 members contributing about 150 rand
That's
on
it.
average each.
It's even worse. We've got the power of the numbers.
Yeah.
Even 100 times more than them.
So literally, imagine chillers, 600, 700,000 contributing 100 rand a month. I think that would be 70 million, maybe, a month. And then what they've done is because they understand with history the importance of building. They've set up private security in their neighborhoods.
Wow.
They do their own service delivery in their neighborhoods, cutting grass, fixing potholes. They've built a 300 million rand skills tertiary institution. So if people are going to be like, yeah, you're fucking sell out, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm here to be like, if anyone's willing to listen to me, I'll explain to you why we need to learn from these people so that you can be like, I've closed Barry Murray because I'm trying to do this. I was inspired by Orania. Call it whatever you want. I'm moving.
What do you think about the DA?
The Democratic Alliance. Did I answer your question?
You did.
Nah, fam, you did, bro.
So I think that's very important that we learn from some of these things, very importantly. I hate the political system that we have. Some of the people that I'm currently speaking to now are currently fighting all the way to the Constitutional Court to change and fix the political system we have. This representational or proportional democracy is bullshit. You know, we literally don't get to choose who runs the country. We don't get to choose who gets to sit in parliament. Just because you vote, and mind you, part of the bullshit with this system is, I'm poor, I've got kids, my kids are hungry. I'd like to have a grant. I'd like my kids to have free schooling. I'd like to get free healthcare. Which party maybe promises that? The ANC. That's what I'm voting for. Then it comes with Tumbalula, and it comes with what, and it comes with, but you voted ANC, but I didn't vote for that.
Yeah.
I voted for this. Why now do I also have to catch that kind of situation? So we need to find ways to be more direct about what we're voting for and what we kind of want. So I hate the political system that we have. I don't like any of the political parties because of the system that they built on top of. With that being said, I think the DA's wins and losses have been well documented. They seem to not be a black-friendly party, you know, because some of the most famous black coconuts have kind of been spat out by the party. Lindiwe Mazibuko, Musi Maimani, Herman Mashaba, Pumzile Van Dam. And you're like, but these were the coconuts. But the coconuts are meant to be. So you're like, hey, if the coconuts are struggling, the average black person might struggle as well. With that being said, people that are close to the DA and some of the leaders that I've spoken to, they say that in terms of managing spaces, they are much better. And you see it in how they've won certain metros.
Yeah.
Because they just literally, what do you need done? They put someone who's going to try and get that done. Gayton McKenzie. Instead of saying what you want to hear, they try to do what you need to get done.
Yeah.
And that's where the mindset specifically of the youth is meant to be. That what has he done so that I can follow him? If he hasn't done anything, he speaks well, I'll use him for motivation and what, but I will follow the guy who is doing. So once we get to that point, I think we'll win. So for me in particular, I wouldn't see a need to vote for the DA right now. But I do think come 2024, or rather I hope, until our political system has been changed, I hope we get a coalition government. And I urge as many young people as possible to vote for that. So nothing will work because the system, like I said, for me is broken. But there's like better. There's better than.
Coalition, yeah. Shit.
So,
don't you think they'd sabotage each other, though?
That's the thing.
So the one argument is sabotage. So we're working together. It's a class project. And because I know how no solutions or benefits, so I'll make sure I don't submit. So, it fucks everyone, sadly, the sabotage. The other side is that people are going to be hungry for power, which is what the DA is trying to do now, because we don't know what they'd be like if they ran the country, or the EFF for that matter. They might become as complacent as the ANC. But right now, so they want to work. So in a coalition government, you're hoping people will say, but the potholes too. Oh,
yeah, that's true.
As much as it was coalition, but it was us, like we ANC. No, it was EFF, because they kind of want the power.
Also, they'll be able to disclose that.
No, so they won't. The truth of the matter is they won't. One of the things I want to do, along with building a cult religion, I want to educate as many, particularly young people as possible, in the most simple way possible. Because I know, Mac, you have said things like, fuck politics and what. And I need to try and explain, because other people have tried to explain, but they suck at explaining why politics is important. Number one, just the term politics is from Greek, politika. And what that means is it's the affairs of the city. Polis. When you say a metropolis, the polis is a city. So it's the affairs of a city. So when you talk about the affairs of the city, you're talking about podcast and chill. You talk about the chillers market. You talk about the fact that there's no electricity, so we couldn't fucking record. You talk about the internet. You talk about there were potholes. One of our guests was coming here and his car turned over. The affairs of the city. They do not need to be run by the people that are running them now. We have monarchs, for example. They can be run by kings. If you look at the Vatican City, they could be run by religious leaders. They could be run by you guys. You guys, like, let's say you have a property, Orania, and you're like, no, chillers now live on chillers land, for example. And we make sure, like Orania, we've got endless solar. So one of the things Umek wanted me to tell you, Orania solved their load shedding problem. For half of the day, they're looking to do the whole day where they completely go off grid, and they'll never have load shedding. Because they're trying to solve the problems. Instead of complaining and whining and tweeting, fuck government, they're like, okay, this is where we're at. Let's move. Like I said with AfriForum. No service delivery here, high grass, bad security. We'll come and be the security. We won't ask government for help. We'll fundraise.
And that's literally how the podcast started.
Yeah.